everybody, welcome to my world of stuff. My name is Paul Mount. Just thought I would do a quick video this evening. I haven't done one for a few days. As I've mentioned in the previous video, I seem to have a lot on at the moment. December is a funny one. Even though I don't work full time anymore, the days just seem to fill up with things. There are a few sort of festive functions that I've got lined up coming up. And there's I've hinted at a couple of domestic things, a bit of a domestic thing coming up in the next few days, which is sort of time consuming. So I haven't really had a lot of time to sit and do videos for the channel. Now, I will be quite honest, that is a video I recorded a week, 10 days ago, announcing the retirement of this channel because I felt and feel there's not really picking up much momentum. I'm getting less viewers with each video and less comments. But I haven't posted that video because I don't really want to stop completely, but I just want to make this video to say that there probably won't be quite so much content coming up in the immediate future, certainly until the new year. There will be a few bits and pieces. I've recorded a review of Hawkeye episode 3, which I haven't had a chance to edit and post. Of course, we're at episode 4 now. I've done another retro movie review. I haven't had a chance to edit and post that either because, as I said, there's a lot of stuff going on. And as I mentioned, I've got a writing project which I need to get done by the end of December, which I should have finished now. And it's nearly finished, but I need to focus on that for a few days. And, you know, time just gets eaten up. So anyway, that's my excuse. I'm sticking to it for why I haven't been doing very much lately. But I will be around. But the next couple of weeks will probably be fairly quiet. Although there will be a review next week of a fairly major film release. I think you know what I'm talking about. It's probably the most anticipated genre movie since Avengers Endgame, I think, because the hype has become enormous. The rumour mill has been grinding for months. There have been clips, there have been trailers, there are theories, people pondering who's going to appear, who's not going to appear, what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. I'm talking, of course, about Spider-Man No Way Home, which I'm seeing a screening next Wednesday evening, so I'll try and get a review up. Probably Thursday morning, possibly Wednesday night, depends on how I'm fixed when I get back. Yeah, it is the big film. It's the big film of the year, really. I mean, and it's been an odd year again. This has been another COVID year where film schedules have been disrupted to an extent. Films have been released, and although there have been some successful films, a lot of films have probably taken 50-60% of what they would have taken in pre-pandemic times. I think James Bond has done very well. No Time to Die has taken nearly 800 million, which is a massive hit in the current climate. But Marvel have had 2 films out, of course, 3 films, in fact, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, and most recently The Eternals. They've all done well, but they've all sort of, I don't think any of them have taken 500,000, which is unusual for a Marvel film, because normally Marvel films, touch 1 billion quite easily. But they've struggled. They've done well. They've been, apart from Eternals, which I think was, as you probably have seen from my review, but they've all done fairly well at the box office, well enough certainly not to cause any huge problems. But I think a lot is riding on Spider-Man No Way Home, because it is the third of Tom Holland's Spider-Man films. It concludes that sort of home trilogy that we've had. And it's effectively just about the last in the sort of agreement between Sony and Marvel to share the character of Spider-Man. So I just thought I'd do a quick video just with some sort of last-minute discussion about the film. Hopes and fears, what I hope will happen, what I think will happen, who I think will appear, who I don't think will appear. We know that the story from the trailer that we've seen, it carries on this theme of the multiverse, which has opened up this year, particularly in Loki. The idea that there are multiple universes where multiple versions of characters can exist. And we saw at the end of Loki, there's now a sort of a conflux of those timelines that are sort of colliding a bit, which is where we're sort of heading in the multiverse. In this film, as we've seen from the trailer, Spider-Man obviously is a bit concerned that his secret identity has been blown, as we saw at the end of the last film. And he goes to Doctor Strange, asking him to cast a spell that will make everybody forget that they know that he is Spider-Man. It appears that doing so opens up a gateway into the multiverse, which allows alternative versions of characters to pass through from one multiverse to another, or at least characters from previous versions of Spider-Man to come into this Marvel cinematic version of Spider-Man. And of course, there are lots of rumours. We've seen in the trailer, we know there is actually a video online of Willem Dafoe, Jamie Foxx, and Alfred Molina talking about what it was like to come back and recreate the Green Goblin, Electro, and Dr. Octopus, who, of course, are characters who appeared in the previous versions of the Spider-Man films, the Andrew Garfield and particularly the Tobey Maguire films. So we know that they're back. But the big talking point about this film, of course, is, are we going to see all three Spider-Men together? Are we going to see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield? And the rumours are back and forth all the time. Andrew Garfield in press interviews is consistently saying, look, I'm not in this film. I've not been approached. I'm not in it. I don't know how many more times I can say it. But we just don't know if that's just lies. You know, actors lie, producers lie, directors lie. They want to keep things quiet. They want to keep secrets. So they're not going to sort of give things away. And that's certainly been a big feature of people's discussion about these films since it was announced it was happening. So where are we with that? What do we think is going to happen? Do we think we're going to see all three Spider-Men together? At the moment, my gut instinct says no. I'm only sort of 60-40 on that. If it happens, I won't be massively surprised. Only because, and I don't know, maybe I just take people at face value too much, but Andrew Garfield has been so insistent he's not in it. And I'm just wondering if people are building themselves up to be disappointed. If their appearance is fundamental to people's enjoyment of the film, and if they're not in it, they're going to be very disappointed by the film, no matter how good it is. And I'm sure it'll be good. But at the moment, I have a feeling that the villains are going to be in it. And I think there's going to be references to the other Spider-Men. We might even see flashbacks to them. Whether we're going to see new footage of them in costume again now, I'm just not sure. I'm not sure. It could happen as easily as it could not happen. But my instinct at the moment is sort of 60-40 that it's not happening. Because again, I think that you run the risk of a film becoming too crowded. And this is a problem that Spider-Man films have done in the past. If you remember Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3, which had their version of Venom. It had Sandman. It had somebody else, I can't remember now. But it was just jam-packed. And the new Green Goblin, of course, James Franco taking over as the Green Goblin. It was just jam-packed and it didn't work. And I think it was the same problem with The Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Andrew Garfield, where you had Electro and the Goblin and sort of cameo appearance by the Rhino. That was a mess of a film anyway, a hot mess as they say. But I think if you overstuff these films with too many characters, too many villains, I think that you have trouble making an interesting narrative. And I'm just thinking that in No Way Home, if we've got Spider-Man, if we've got the characters from this iteration of Spider-Man, then we're going to have villains from previous iterations of Spider-Man he's going to have to fight, and other versions of Spider-Man. It's going to be a very busy film. And of course, Doctor Strange, Benedict Cumberbatch, I think plays a fairly big part in the film. So I guess my instinct is that no, they're not going to appear in it. But if they do, I won't be incredibly surprised. I'm not saying, I'm 90% certain they won't be in it. It's just like a feeling I have. However, there is a new trailer coming. There is a new trailer which might actually reveal that they are in it. This is just my gut instinct that we won't see them. But we shall see. Otherwise, I'm looking forward to this being the film of the year in terms of these sorts of films. I see a lot of sort of action films, and my particular predilection is for science fiction, fantasy type films. And I'm looking forward to this as sort of the one to cap a difficult year. And I am a big Marvel fan, as I'm sure I've pointed out in the past. I'm sure you realised in the past. And I'm hugely looking forward to this because Spider-Man is Marvel's poster boy. He is the one who started it all, really, although he wasn't the first of the Marvel superheroes. He was a big name. And I just love Spider-Man. And I read the comics in the 70s. And I have a sort of a huge affection for the character. So I'm always interested in a new Spider-Man film. I think Tom Holland has easily been the best film Spider-Man we've had. And I like the world that's been created around him. It's an interesting interpretation on sort of old Marvel characters. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing how things pan out in this film. I think there are going to be a lot of other surprises as well. I don't think that whether Garfield and Maguire are in it or not, I don't think that's the only surprise. I think there's other things, whether there's other cameo appearances, plot twists and things we don't know. The film runs for 2 hours, 28 minutes. I was watching an online piece yesterday which said the actual film is 2 hours, 14 minutes. The rest of it's the credits, plus, of course, the mid-credits and end-credit sequence. So it's a good, solid, lengthy film. I'm really looking forward to it capping off what's been another difficult year for us all. I'm seeing it next Wednesday night, so I'll post a review as soon as I can. What I'd like to know in the meantime is what you guys think about the possibilities for this film. Got any theories, any ideas, any inside knowledge about what's coming up next week? Put a comment in down below. That would be lovely to get some comments down below. Also, be lovely to get a few more subscribers, so please press that subscribe button, please. Like and share and tell your friends, etc. That would be marvellous. One other thing I just want to mention before I go. Today is Thursday, the 9th of December. We're heading towards Christmas. I just heard the news a couple of hours ago that Chris Achilleos, the artist who most famously created many classic covers for Doctor Who Target books back in the 70s, passed away this week at the age of 74, I believe, from a stroke. And if you trawl back through my archive of videos, you'll see a review which I did of the book, The Art of Chris Achilleos, which came out in the summer. It's one of my early videos, so if you want to check that out, scroll back through my archive. Yeah, very sad to hear of his passing. I never met him. I know people who have, and they said he was really lovely, self-effacing sort of guy, brilliant artist. Anybody who was brought up in those Doctor Who books in the 70s will have their favourites of those vivid images he did of John Pertwee stories and Tom Baker stories. He captured their likenesses, and he captured the essence of stories like no other artist, really. I think one of my favourites, because it has a comic strip connection, I probably mentioned it in that video reviewing the book, is the original cover of the Dinosaur Invasion. And there's a very nice piece in the book where he talks about how he fought to have that cover used because he had an image of a dinosaur, a pterodactyl, attacking the Doctor with a comic strip clack sound effect over it. And he wanted that because he felt that it reflected what he felt was a sort of a comic strip nature of Doctor Who. Publishers weren't happy with that, but that is such a well-remembered image of from the Target days. It's something that certainly those of us of a certain age who read those books and grew up on those books and learned a lot about the history of Doctor Who from those books will remember that one particularly. We'll remember all of the books he did covers for. And as I say, go online and check out his book, The Art of Chris Achilleos, because it's terrific, beautifully illustrated, lavishly published, lavishly printed book, which reproduces all his covers and lots of exclusives, things that weren't used and sort of private commissions. So I'm very sad to hear of his passing. It's it's another part of the past. Unfortunately, it's drifting away. As you get older, it happens. You lose more and more people who part of your cultural past, if you like. And of course, you lose your friends and family as well. Growing old ain't much fun, kids. So that's one other thing I wanted to mention. And one other thing I want to mention, Starburst Magazine is back today. As some of you may know, I write for the magazine. I write the TV Zone column and also the TV Zone Plus podcast, which you can find on Apple Podcasts and all other podcast purveyors, where I and my friend Scott Holmes chat about films, TV, books, games, geeky stuff for a couple of hours every month or so. It's good fun. We've done about 92 episodes now, and all a bit ramshackle, but we have a laugh doing it. So have a listen to that. But no, it's a spin-off from the column which I've been doing for Yonks, where I just review fantasy TV shows. And the magazine's been on hiatus for a year because of the pandemic. Its retail outlets were closing down. Lots of magazines were being returned and pulped. Wasn't really financially viable to keep the magazine going. Things are improving, although they seem to be deteriorating again, but that's another issue. But the magazine is back. It's back in stores. You'll find it in WH Smith. You'll find it in Tesco's, hunt around for it where places that still sell magazines. You'll find Starburst. My copy arrived today. It's a big chunky 130-page thing. It's been redesigned. There's a lot of redesigning and new sort of branding going on, some new features. It's coming out quarterly now, every 3 months. So it sort of covers what's been, what's out now, and what's coming. So it sort of spans that era very well. I haven't had a chance to look at it in great depth yet, but it's just nice to have it back. So if you're interested, go to www.starburstmagazine.com. You can secure a copy there if you can't find it in stores. I believe there's also a digital version available if you prefer it that way. But check it out, and if you do, let me know what you think of it. Comments down below, as usual. I think that's all I wanted to do at the moment. I've quite enjoyed doing a sort of a rambling potpourri of things. I might do this more often rather than just focus on one particular thing. I think that's all for now. Right, I'm going to go and leave you to it, young people. Until I see you next time, you know what they say. That's the way. Keep taking the stuff.